Hey everybody, welcome back. So we are getting ready to prepare for this year's garden, 2024. So if you've been following along, I did start some seeds. This weekend we're going to start a few more seeds as we're about 12 weeks out. 12 weeks. The countdown begins. So I'm trying to get my my grow area set up on my front porch, because this is going to be the main area that I have my grow lights on. I do have the two still running in my dining room, but we're going to get ready to move them out here to the front porch tomorrow. So today it's supposed to be kind of rainy in mid 40s, but tomorrow it's supposed to be 60, which is very, very uncommon for our area. And it's going to be pretty mild going forward for the next few weeks. So I figured after tomorrow I can just leave my front door open and heat everything out here. So I'm trying to get ready, get all set up and planned for what I'm going to do tomorrow. And here, I'll kind of show you what I got going on here. So I'm trying to lay everything out to see how things are going to fit on this table. I think I do just need a little tiny bit more room right here. So I'll figure something out to put here so I can hang one of the smaller grow lights here and right here. So I have a little bit more space right at the edge of the table. These trays, I went through all my trays and tried to get rid of anything that had holes in it, because since this is an indoor space, I don't want water running all over my floor. I'm definitely planning on replacing a lot of this stuff throughout the next few seasons. Like I started with these, the 4 seed cells. These are the 4-inch ones, and they're heavy duty plastic, so they will last a long time. And now, let me flip you back around. Now I plan on just trying to use what I have until it's broken, dead, cannot use it anymore, and then I can start replacing things with better products. So right now I think I have just enough trays, and then once these start going, maybe the end of the year, I'll see if there's any sales, and then we can buy some new ones, because we definitely need new ones. So hang tight, we're gonna plant some seeds. So in this video, I'm also going to talk about the things that I'm going to plant this year. So a few years ago, I went through and did my research, and I wrote down everything in alphabetical order of the things that I could possibly plant in my area. I live in upstate New York. I'm about an hour north of Albany. I'm classified about zone 5B at this point, which doesn't really mean a whole lot in the aspect of your regular garden. So your growing zone is going to determine things like your perennial stuff. I can't plant a lemon tree in my backyard, okay? So that's kind of thing. I can plant apple trees. So those are the things that you would use for growing zones. But the most important thing that you need to learn and remember is year to year when your last frost date is and when your first frost date is. Those are going to be the most important times, because that's going to be when you can plant all of your garden out and when your garden is going to be finished. So for my area, it's usually around Memorial Day. So it could be a week before, it could be 2 weeks before, it could be a week later at some years, which that has happened. And then you want to know when your first frost date is. So ours is usually a week or 2 after Labor Day. So to be on the safe side, in my area, I go from Memorial Day to Labor Day, which really doesn't give me a lot of time. Hence why I do a lot of planning. I do start my seeds pretty early in my house, and that way I can hit the ground running at Memorial Day, and then by Labor Day, I gotta get things rolled up, because in a couple of weeks after that, I mean, we've had a frost the week after Labor Day. It just depends. Every year is going to be different, and the years are ever changing. So that's why on my paper, I wrote my frost dates. So that way I have a reference-ish. And these are just they're just general dates. You can look at your 10-day forecast when things are getting closer and see when you might have a frost, when you might not. I definitely do not plant my tomatoes or my peppers until after Memorial Day. Doesn't matter. I'll plant the whole garden out, but I'm not doing that ever. Because it will be fatal. That's just like the bad luck that you get, right? So on my paper, again, everything's in alphabetical order. I wrote down the days to germination, how long it takes for these seeds to germinate, the days to maturity. That means when you start them, how long, when you would put them in the ground, to the days that it would produce fruit. So I also wrote on this paper about how many weeks that I can start my seeds inside, approximately. So this year, I'm just starting things just a week or two early. I have the capability of keeping them in a safe place if it still has a potential of a frost in the later part of the spring. So I'm just really excited. I just really want to get this year going. I'm super optimistic about this year. With my new job, I have a lot more time. So I really plan on being able to take care of this garden very, very well this year. It's the details, it's the small things that are really important. So some of the things that I'm going to be starting tomorrow, as you saw, we're going to get my front porch all ready to go. And then we're going to plant some seeds. And let's see, I did write down a list. See, I've been keeping track. I just keep a list of things that I need to do on what day. That way the day doesn't get away from me. Like, oh, I forgot to do this or I forgot to do that. I have it all listed down. Excuse me. Oh boy. Relax. Ay, ay, ay. Good Lord. Spooky. You want to go get your snack? So tomorrow we are going to start onions, broccoli, cabbage, eggplant, dill, and start my tomatoes. I have my onions left over from last year. I have them in a paper bag so that way they can breathe, and I've been eating them. Now they're close to the point of no more eating them. You can tell because they start to get soft and squishy, or they start growing in the paper bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of those onions and I'm going to plant them out this year. So an onion is a biannual plant. So that means that you plant the seed this year, like I do. I have a lot of success in planting onions from seeds. I don't buy sets. The set is a second year plant. So I plant the seed this year. I take very good care of it and grow as big of a bulb as Mother Nature is going to let me, because yes, we are just at the mercy of what she is going to give us this year, and we can't predict that. So I have the bulb, then I store the onions in the bulb correctly, and then at the end of the year, well, the beginning of the next year, actually, then I'm going to put them back in the ground. I'm going to plant them, and they're going to grow a big flower. And the flower is what holds all the seeds in a little onion pod. And they're really, really pretty. But once they dry out at the end of that second year, then they drop their seeds, and the cycle starts all over again for 2 years. So I found when I planted onion sets that most of them went to flower. So if they go to flower on that first year, you're not going to get a good onion bulb. So that's the problem. But again, I haven't had any trouble starting things from seeds. And I have my previous videos from last year and the year before starting seeds, and they worked out really, really well. So I'm really happy about that. So if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I'm just going to keep doing it that way. I have found that my yellow onions store much better than my red or my white onions. So I'm going to grow more yellows than reds and whites. But I will still grow them, because what I'll do is I'll harvest them and I will eat them early on. And that's about that. The tomatoes, I am going to be more diligent this year about storing my own seeds. So there are a few plants that I just inherently, it's easy to harvest seeds from. Sugar snap peas, once they are the heat of the summer and they're not going to grow anymore, I just let them dry on the plant, and then when they're like that black and crumbly, I take them out, husk the seeds out of them, I store them in like a paper bag in a cool, dry place, and then I just plant them next year. Works great for me every time. Green beans, the same way. When you start getting into like tomatoes and such, you really have to kind of ferment the outer coating off of the seed, because what that outer coating does, really it's meant the birds come and eat the tomatoes, they eat the seeds, and then they digest it, and then when they poop, they haven't digested the seed, but they broke down that little slimy coating on the outside, and then they're planted, they overwinter, and then they grow the next year. So that is actually a protection mechanism within the seed itself, so it can withstand the digestive system of a bird. Food for thought on that one. So you have to ferment those and get that slimy stuff off the outside of it. So I have done it before, and I may try it again, but we shall see on that. Yeah, really, so that's what tomorrow is going to be. That'll be for a separate video. So stay tuned for that. That is upcoming. I can't wait. And I'm just trying to be more organized this year. Like last year, I had, see, Garden 2023. And it listed everything that I was going to plant and when I needed to when I needed to start seeds, and then when I could plant it. Because there are some frost-hardy things that you can plant and still get away with a mild frost here and there. So here's the list of things that I am putting in my garden this year. So we are going to do the regular old spinach, lettuces, sugar snap peas. I kind of will go maybe in order of how I plant them. That's, I guess, how I remember it. Lettuces, spinach, sugar snap peas, potatoes. We put potatoes in early. Get my onions. My garlic is already in. Carrots, Brussels sprouts, broccoli. I'm going to try to do my cauliflower maybe towards the end of this season, because I'm having trouble in my area growing cauliflower, so I don't know if I should just give up on it. What else? Peppers, tomatoes, eggplant. I did parsley. We'll do like summer squash, like zucchini, yellow squash. I like that. Good for a stir fry, huh? Fresh is best. I got to check up on my asparagus beds. Got to get those cleaned out and see what's going to come up. a lot of the herbs, I really need to get back in my herbs. Yeah, green beans. Did I say green beans? I got my list here. It's kind of like, again, I'm doing things, I'm planting things that I'm actually going to use this year. So this year, I definitely want to more focus again, and I've been doing this the past couple years, but I'm going to even focus a little bit more this year, 2024, is planting the things that I am definitely going to use. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I love to can. I'm a canner. I've taken this scary thing and I've turned it into something super awesome. So I can, it's just the basics. I am just the basics kind of person. So the green beans, the carrots, corn, but I buy corn. We have a big farm that grows a lot of corn, and that's what's sold at all the farm stands. And it's really it's pretty cheap, even though the prices are getting more expensive. It's way more cost effective for me to just purchase 6 dozen ears of corn and process everything all at once. And this year I just need to really stock up more on my tomato products. Like, I'm out of spaghetti sauce right now. So I did try my hand at some different ways of doing spaghetti sauce because I need such a large amount of it. So I kind of leave my fresher stuff for my salsa, and I use some substitute items for my spaghetti sauce. You use what you can get and what you can work with. I also have my garlic going, so I did cover all of my garlic after I gave it some time in the soil. I covered it with leaf mulch, and so that kind of protected it from the cold, harsh winters that we have. And so I took some of the mulch off of that, and I could see some that were starting to come up. So I'm really excited about the garlic this year. And all I did was replant the cloves that I had from last year. That's what I'm trying to do, is just use what I have and replant it year after year. This is the part of sustainability that I am looking so forward to, and just maintaining things myself. So I'm going to get my garden more organized this year. We got to get the raspberries out. They've taken over. And we're going to plant a lot of herbs so I can start drying more herbs this year, and plant more flowers so we can help the bees out. And I'm very excited of how hopefully this summer is going to go. So stay tuned, because we have a lot going on this year, and we're just plugging along, waiting for the good weather to come and grace us with its presence. We're gonna start seeds, we're gonna clean up the garden, we're gonna get the chickens situated, and I'm really excited. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button, come on, join in so you know what we're doing next, and you can just follow along. If that helps you, if any of this stuff helps you, just throw a comment down below and let me know how it's helping for you. And hey, I can take advice too, you know. And as always, from my coop to yours, thank you for growing with me so I can grow with you.